Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Very good. Ready.
Glad to hear it. All right. Is that Jenny over there?
Yeah,
Oh, hi, Jenny. How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you. Sorry, teacher, that on Tuesday because I have problem about the phone. So
Okay.
the white black is no good. So
Mhm.
on and off.
Jenny, I have a question for you.
Yes,
Do you have Wi-Fi at your house?
I don't, but I try to.
Darn. Because
yeah.
if you had Wi-Fi, I could get you a computer, but you don't have Wi-Fi, so no. You have no internet on at your house, huh?
No. Oh, I just go.
She has a computer. She has a
I have
computer.
a computer.
She has a laptop.
Oh, yeah,
Now.
because they're doing loaners for the school, but you don't need one, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
It's better like this.
Thank you,
Okay.
teacher.
All right. All right. Hello, Maria Perlito. How are you?
Hi, teacher.
Good
Good,
to
and you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm very ready for the weekend.
Yes.
Let's see. Alejandra's here now. Welcome, Alejandra. There she is. Good morning.
Good morning.
Very good. Very good. Are we ready to get started?
Yes.
Yes, why not? Let's get started while we're waiting for everybody to come in. We will do our verb warm-up. And then today, like I said, we're going to practice our conditionals a little bit, but we're also going to talk about your first writing assignment. We're going to talk about writing a comparison and contrast essay. We'll talk about doing that today too. So this weekend, that'll be your job to do a comparison and contrast essay. Okay. So let's get started. And let's get to our verb warm-up. I can find it here. Let's see, where is it? Donde está? Here we go. All righty. All good. Here we go. Now, level 5s and 6s, you'll recognize this first one, right? We have that key word by the time already there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do we want to say has or had?
Had.
Right. H-A-D, and then we want C-O-O-K-E-D. Had already cooked dinner by the time I got home. Had already cooked. All right. The next one. What kind of food? At Stanley's restaurant. Again, this is more for my 5s and 6s right now, because the food is the subject, right? We haven't talked about this yet for the level 4s, but 5s and 6s, you recognize the passive there, right?
Yes.
So what can we say? What kind of food?
Is served.
Is served. Excellent. What kind of food is served at Stanley's restaurant? Now, this next one we had at the end of level 3, right? We have a time clause about tomorrow. We already have will on this side, right? This is exactly like the conditionals we were talking about on Tuesday, right? We have future, and the other verb is going to be
Present.
present, exactly. So after you check out of the hotel, what is that? Somebody's calling me. I'm busy. Leave a message. After you check out of the hotel tomorrow, I will take you to the airport. All right. Now the next one says for the last few months. That's one of our keywords for present perfect, isn't it?
Yes.
So what can we say? For the last few months, I
Have gotten.
have gotten would be fine, or
having getting.
have been getting, right? Have been getting. Excellent. Have gotten or have been getting. Now, here's one that we were talking about on Tuesday. What does it have here? It says if
Conditional.
their parents didn't make them. If their parents didn't, right? We got the past tense, right? So what's the partner of past tense?
Good.
Good.
Would, right? So we're going to say wouldn't study.
Wouldn't study.
Mark and Pat wouldn't study so hard if their parents didn't make them. All right. Now the next one is just in general. Every meal. After every meal, what happens? The children
Brush.
brush their teeth. Now the next one is a how many question for how many so far today. How many so far today? So what can we say there? How many questions
Have you asked?
have you asked? How many questions have you asked so far today? Have you asked? Very good. All right. Now the next one is again, if. Is this a possibility or just an imagination?
It's imagination.
So what do you want to say? You want to say drive or drove?
Drove.
Drove.
You could go both ways, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, because might can be with both.
Because it's in my.
Yeah, might can be with both, right?
Oh,
I can say if you drive too fast, you might have an accident, or if you drove too fast, you might have an accident. Might can be with both. Can is only with the present, and could is only with the past. But might, both are okay. So if you drive too fast, you might have an accident. If you drove too fast, you might have an accident. All right. Now again, this one's more for my level 5s. We have, he went to Dallas last week, but before last week. So again, we want our past perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He hadn't
I think.
taken. He hadn't taken a trip for a long time. Hadn't taken. There's our past perfect. I think we're going to talk. You're going to start talking about past perfect with Miss Aguirre. I think tomorrow. Wait a minute. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Maybe Monday.
Monday.
Did you talk about conditionals with Miss Aguirre yet today? This week?
Yes.
Yesterday?
Yes.
Yesterday? You talked a
Yes.
little bit. Did you talk about past conditionals or basic conditionals?
The
Second conditional?
number one. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, past conditional.
All right. Very good. All right. The next one has the word originally. Originally means the first time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So should we say does or did?
Did.
Did, right. Where did Walter originally meet his fiancée? Past tense. Now the next one, again, is more for our level 5s and 6s. We haven't talked about it yet this semester.
Mm-hmm.
It says, I by my classmates. I what? I
was chosen.
I
was chosen, right. I was chosen by my classmates to give the presentation last week. I was chosen. Number 12 says not until next week. Not until next week. So what can we say here?
I won't speak.
I won't speak,
I won't speak.
or I am not going to speak. Going to speak. Here's another student, Jareen. I won't speak, or I'm not going to speak. Excellent. Okay. The next one has that word while. What are we going to do about while?
That's continuous.
All right. While I was doing, right?
I was doing.
I found some change in the pocket of my jeans while I was doing my laundry. While I was doing. The next one is about tomorrow. That's the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the hockey game tomorrow. So what can we say? Where
Did you sit?
will you sit, right? Where will you sit, or where are you going to sit? The next one the subject is the tree, right? The subject is the tree. So during the storm last night, what happened to the tree?
Was damaged.
Exactly, it was damaged. The tree was damaged by the wind. Now the next one is a negative for many years. So what can we say there?
So Mr. Francis hasn't played.
Hasn't played.
Hasn't played, exactly. Hasn't played tennis for many years. Next one again is very similar, for 10 minutes.
Jing
Has been ready to go. Number 18, the subject is words. So 5s and 6s. This is going to be a passive again, right? So how many words?
Words sold.
Were spelled. Right? How many words were spelled incorrectly on my quiz yesterday? How many words were spelled? Unfortunately, we're talking about next Christmas. Next
Won't
Christmas.
visit.
Won't visit. Right?
We won't visit.
Or we aren't going to visit. We won't visit or we aren't going to visit. Every day with his father. What can we say? Every day, Bill
Has.
has talked with his father. H-A-S. Okay. The next one says after you graduate. That's future, right? So what can we say?
Where will you work?
Where will you work? Or where are you going to work? And the company will call you if they
Need.
more information, right? If and present. Remember, will with the present tense. Okay. My brother and sister were watching TV when I... What do we got here? When I...
Was walking.
When I walked into the room. Now you could say was walking, but to walk into a room is very short action, right?
Okay.
Very fast, right? It takes 2 seconds to walk into a room. So usually with when we use the simple past. Usually with when we want to use simple past. All right. Now the next one says for 6 weeks. That's another 4. So what do we want here? Another present perfect continuous, right?
Yes. Has been going.
Has gone would be okay. Oops. Now the next one is a little bit of a tricky one because the subject is a decision and we want to say already. So what are we going to use there? We're going to use present perfect passive there, right? So how do we make a present perfect passive?
Sería has
already
been made.
Been made, exactly. Got to put that been in there. The boss's decision has already been made. You can't change his mind. All right, there we go. Another verb warm-up finished. Excellent. All right. Let's see, who do we have here today? Let's see who we have. Saul. Good morning, Saul. And we have Jenny. Good morning, Jenny. And Alejandra. Hello, Alejandra. Jareen is here. Hello, Jareen. And Araceli is here. Nice to see you, Araceli, as usual.
Thank you.
Always good to see you. Maria Polito is here, and Mateo.
Yes.
Very good. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. All right, I want to do a little quick review of what we talked about on Tuesday, that second conditional, and then I want to practice a little bit more. Got some noise here. Do you guys hear that noise?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what that noise is. It's a strange and unhappy noise. But let me see here. Let me open up what we were talking about last time and just show it to you one more time very carefully. Let me see here. Let me open this up here real fast. And let's talk about what we're looking at here. Oops, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Okay. That noise is going to drive us crazy. All right, good. So let me show you what we looked at last time, but I'll show it to you again right now. And let's see. Just to remind ourselves, remember we were talking about the imaginary, or what we call the second conditional. Let me see. See if I can turn off those microphones and get some of this to stop. All right. All right. Let me see whose microphone is the problem. Oh, okay. All right. All right, trying to fix everybody's microphone here. All right. Can everybody hear me, más o menos?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we got rid of that noise. Good. Okay, so let's take a look. Remember, what was our form? Simple past and would. That was the basic form we were looking at, right? Simple past and would. And when do we use it? When we're talking about things that are not real. When we're just using our imagination. For example, if I had more free time, I would do more exercise. If I had more free time, I would do more exercise. Had, would. Or I would travel around the world if I won the lottery, right? Here I have if in the second position, but I still have if and simple past. If people drove less, there wouldn't be so much air pollution. And if I didn't have to work today, I would go to the beach. Right here are two negatives, didn't and wouldn't. Right, that was the second conditional we talked about on Tuesday. And remember, in the book, we had some variations using might and could. We use might when I'm not sure. It's just a possibility. We use could, meaning I have the ability to do it. I would be able to, right? If I had time, I could go to the mall. If she studied more, she might get better grades. Maybe. If you took the bus, you might like it. Maybe. If I could go anywhere in the world, I would go to India. Remember, could and might are also possible, not only would. And finally, remember the important note. We always use were in formal grammar. Some people say if I was, but most people say if I were you. If Karen weren't so busy. Today were a holiday. If we were retired. Right? That's what we had in our last lesson. I'm just going over it real fast at the beginning here, just to remind ourselves, all right? Okay, no problems?
No
Everybody,
problem.
everybody happy? Everybody feel good?
Yes.
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 Excellent, excellent. All right, so now let's take a look at the next page in the book where we have some cause and effect that we're going to change to conditional. We have cause and effect, and we're going to change it to conditional. This is from the transitions book. If you have the transitions book, you can look at it. If you don't have the transitions book, don't worry. I will share it with you right now. All right, so what we're going to practice this a little bit, and then we're going to practice with partners. But first, let's look at the transitions book. And this is transitions book, and it's page 65 in the book if you have it. All right. Notice what it says. Talk with a partner. Read the paragraph and the sentences about Peter. Make sentences about imaginary conditionals using the unreal conditional. Example. Peter is a teaching assistant in a large class. He got the job because he's smart and he knows the material well. But there are several problems in the class. Peter is shy and he doesn't relate well to the students. So we make a conditional. If Peter weren't shy, he could relate well to the students. All right. How about the next one? Can everybody see it?
Yes.
Yes.
It says he speaks softly so the students can't hear him. What could we say in our imagination? Well, we have the example right down here. Do you see it down here at the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
If Peter spoke
If
more
he
loudly, the students could hear him. Right? All right. All right. So next one says he never asks any questions, so the students don't pay attention. He never asks questions, so the students don't pay attention. So what can we say? In my imagination, what do I say? If
If he
past tense, right? If he
asks
asked questions, what would the students do?
the students pay attention.
The students would pay
Would
attention.
pay
Right.
attention.
If he asked questions, the students would pay attention. All right. He does not use interesting examples, so his lectures are boring. Oh no. All right. So what can we say? In my mind, I say if
he used
past tense, right? If he used interesting examples,
he used interesting.
his lectures
His lectures are interesting. Were
Well,
interesting.
well, hold on. Do we want were or do we want would be? Were or would be?
Could be.
Could be,
Could
would
be.
be, right? Could be
Okay.
interesting, would be interesting, might be interesting, right? So here, if he used interesting examples, his lectures would be interesting or could be interesting. Would be or could be. The students don't respect him, so they come to class late. Okay, so what can we say?
If the student
the student
students-
would respecting him,
Well, we want past tense, right? So if the students
if students
respected,
respect
if the students respected
respecting
him,
him,
what would they do?
So
him, they could
they
come
would come.
They would come to class
to
on
class
time.
late.
They would come to class on time, right? If the students respected him, they would come to class on time, or we could say they wouldn't come late. They wouldn't come late. They would come on time. All right. Number 5, there are no rules for behavior. So the students use their cell phone and text during the class. Okay. So what can we say? If
there
what do we have? If there are no, so what can we say? If there
There were
exactly.
there
If
were-
there were rules for behavior, what would happen?
the students
the students
didn't
wouldn't use their cell phones.
Wouldn't use
use
their
their
cell phones. The students wouldn't use their cell phones, right? If there were rules for behavior, the students wouldn't use their cell phones. If there were rules for behavior, the students wouldn't use their cell phone. Is it true? No. In fact, the students use their phones all the time, because Peter didn't make any rules for the class. But if there were some rules, the students wouldn't use their cell phones. Okay?
Mhm.
2 more. His tests are easy, so the students are not challenged. His tests are easy, so the students are not challenged. Okay? So what could we say? If the tests
If the
Were
Were
easy.
were easy, the
the
students
were
students
easy or were difficult?
Sería difficult.
If they were difficult, right? If the tests were
Okay.
difficult,
okay. The students
The students
would
wouldn't or would?
would
Would be
good
be challenged.
would be challenged. If the tests were difficult, the students would be challenged. If the tests were difficult, the students would be challenged. Okay. Number 7. His department chair. Does everybody understand what it means, chair?
Chair. Chair is
I'm not, when I say chair in this case, I'm not talking about a chair where you sit. I'm talking about the leader of the department, right?
Yeah.
In a college or a school, we call that a chair. The department chair never observes his class, so she doesn't know about the problems. Okay. So what can we say? If
if his
if
apartment
the chair
Observe his
observed the class,
she
she
she would
she wouldn't
would
she
wouldn't
would
know.
know about the problem.
she would not about the
She would
She would know about the
would know.
problems.
she
Right.
couldn't.
She would know about the problems. Excellent. All right. Let's look at these examples here. Here we go. All right. Can you see that in the corner?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So if he didn't speak softly or if he spoke loudly, the students could hear him. If he asked questions, past tense, the students would pay attention. If he used interesting examples, his lectures wouldn't be so boring. If the students respected him, they would not come late. If there were rules for the behavior, the students wouldn't use their cell phones and text during the class. Oops. If his tests were not so easy or if his tests were hard, the students would be challenged. And finally, if his department chair observed his class, she would know about the problems. Right? Okay, so what do we have here? What do we have here? Everybody can see the board?
Yes.
Our second or our imaginary conditional. And what do we have? If simple past, or with the be verb, we're going to use were. Then we're going to have some choices, right? We're going to have some choices. Our choices are going to be would plus, oops, plus base could plus base or might plus base, right? So that's our form, right? And remember, I can reverse that. I could put the would or the could or the might in the first position too. Would or the could or the might could go in both positions, right? So if I had time, I would exercise. If I were in New York, I would use the subway, right? Simple past with would, could, and might. Everybody agree?
I don't understand much.
Remember, this is imagination. We only use this form when we are inventing scenarios that do not exist. It's not real. It's just imagination. Do I live in New York? No. But if I lived in New York, I would use the subway every day. Right? Am I single? No. But if I were single, I would spend more time with my friends. Right? It's like having a daydream. It's a daydream is what it is. You're just inventing a situation in your imagination. What would happen if I did this? What would happen if I did that? Right? I'm imagining things that are not true. And that's what the second conditional is. The first conditional is real. Something might happen. The second conditional is not real. It's just imagination. So we're going to use the simple past or were in the first part and would, could, and might in the second. Okay?
Yes.
Now,
Okay.
I'm going to share the other thing that I sent you today. I hope you got it. Let me see, where is it now? Okay, it's here somewhere. All right. Can you see that
Yes.
Yes.
with the two girls?
Yes.
All right. I sent this to you earlier today, right? A says to B, do you want to play tennis with me? B says, sorry, I can't. I have to work. A says, that's too bad. B says, sorry about that. If I didn't have to work, I would play tennis with you. Right? If I didn't have to work, I would play tennis with you. But that's not true. That's not true. I can't play tennis because I have to work. But I'd like to. I would like to, but I can't. Okay? All right. So let's practice this a little bit. I'm going to be A, you're going to be B, and then we'll practice with a partner, okay? All right. So if you didn't print out this paper, go ahead and copy down this dialogue so you can practice with the partner. Okay? All right. So let's start. I'm going to be A, students, you're going to be B, okay?
Okay.
Students, do you want to play tennis with me?
Sorry,
Sorry,
I can't.
I have
Sorry.
to work.
Have to work.
That's too bad.
Sorry
Sorry
about that.
Sorry about that.
I
If I
didn't
didn't have to play tennis, if I didn't have to work, I would play tennis with you.
With you.
Okay, good. All right. Let's try one by one. Let's start with Maria Pulido. Are you ready, Maria?
Yes.
Let's do number one. Maria, do you want to see a movie with me?
Sorry, I can't. I don't have any money.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry about that. I didn't have
Well, you
any
don't
money.
you don't have money, so you say what? If I
haven't.
if I had money,
If I had money,
what would you do?
I could
See a movie.
buy an ice cream.
Well, no, we're number
I
one.
will see a movie.
Oh,
Oh, yes, yes.
see a
I would
movie.
I would see a movie with you, right?
Okay.
If I had some money,
If
I would
had-
see a movie with you, right?
Oh, okay.
All right, so students, let's practice together. Students, do you want to see a movie with me?
Sorry,
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 I
I
can't.
can't.
I
I
can-
don't have any money.
I don't have
I
any money.
don't have any money.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry
Sorry about
Sorry
that.
about that. If
If
I
I
any money,
if I had some money,
Yeah, I had some money.
I
I
could
could
see a movie
with you.
with you.
With you.
Right. If I had some money, I could see a movie with you. Sorry. All right. Let's see. Let's try Araceli. Are you ready, Araceli?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay. Would you like to have some ice cream with me?
Sorry,
I can't.
I can.
¿Por qué no?
Sorry, I can. I
am
I am
dying.
on a diet.
I'm on a diet, right?
I'm on a diet.
Okay. That's too bad.
Sorry about that. If I didn't,
Do you want
No.
didn't or weren't?
where
if I weren't on a diet,
Mm-hmm.
I will have some ice cream with you.
I would have some ice cream with you, right? If I weren't on a diet, I would have ice cream, right? I want to have ice cream, but I can't because of my diet. If I weren't on a diet, I would have ice cream with you. All right, students, let's do it together. Do you want to have some ice cream with me?
Sorry.
Sorry, I can't.
Can
I'm on a
I
diet.
am on
On a
a
diet.
diet.
That's too bad.
Sorry
Sorry about that.
about that.
If
If I
I
weren't,
on a diet.
if I weren't on a diet,
on a diet,
Diet.
I could have some ice cream with
I
you.
could have
ice
some
cream
ice
with you.
cream.
Yeah, could or would, either way.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let's see. Let's try. Let's see. Let's try Alejandra.
okay.
Alejandra, would you like to go swimming with me?
Sorry, I can swim.
Oh no. That's too bad.
Oh, sorry about that. If I visited,
No.
no. I were busy today.
No.
I could.
You're doing number 4. We're doing number 3.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. I can swim.
If I could
I
swim, if I
could
could
swim.
swim,
I could go swim with you.
right, I would go swimming with you. If I could swim, I would go swimming with you, right? If I could swim, I would go swimming with you, right? If I could, I would. If I could, I would. But I
Teacher,
can't.
I have a question about that sentences.
Mhm.
It's right if I can use the two models, can and would, in the same sentence?
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because could is in the if part, right? No problem. So if
Oh.
I could swim, because remember, could is past for can.
Yeah. Mhm.
So if I could swim, I would go swimming with you. We say it many times. If I could, I would. If I could, I would. I want to, but I can't, right? I want to, but I can't. If I could go to that movie, I would, but I can't, right?
Okay.
All right, so if I could go swimming, I would go. If I could swim, I would go swimming with you. All right, so students, do you want to go swimming? Sorry,
Sorry, I
I
can't swim.
can't swim.
swim.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry.
Sorry about
Sorry
that.
about that.
If
If I
could
could swim,
Swim.
I would go swimming
with
with
you.
you. All right. Let's see. How about Mateo?
Yes.
Mateo, do you want to visit a museum?
Sorry, I can't. I am busy today.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry about that. If I were busy today, I would visit the museum with you.
Exactly. I would visit the museum with you, right? If I weren't busy today. Remember, I am changes to if I weren't. If
Or
I
where.
weren't. Mhm. If I weren't busy today. In fact, I am busy. But I would like to go to the museum.
Yes.
So if I weren't busy, I would go to the museum with you. All right? All right, students, let's practice together. Do you want to visit a museum today? Sorry, I can't.
Sorry.
I'm busy today.
Busy
I'm
today.
busy today. Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry,
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
If
If
I
I
weren't
weren't
busy today,
today,
I would
visit
visit the
a
museum with you.
museum.
With you.
Right. If I weren't busy today, I would visit the museum with you. All right. Let's see. How about Saul? Are you there, Saul? What happened to Saul? Okay, there he is. Saul's there. Okay. Saul, how about this one? Do you want to get some coffee?
I can have a doctor appointment.
You have a doctor's appointment. That's too bad.
Sorry about that. If I did a doctor appointment, I will talk with you.
Right. I think you said if I didn't have a doctor's appointment, right? Didn't. Right? So I have a doctor's appointment, but if I didn't have a doctor's appointment, I would have coffee
get
with
some
you.
coffee, please.
All right. So students, would you like to get some coffee with me? Sorry, I can't.
I
I have a
have
doctor's
doctor
appointment.
Doctor's
Oh, that's too bad. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
If
If
I didn't
didn't have
have
a doctor appointment,
appointment,
I would
get
get some coffee
with you.
with you. All right. How about Jareen?
Yes.
Jareen, would you like to move to Paris with me? Oh, what a question.
Sorry, I can't. I don't speak French.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry about that. If I could speak French, I might move to Paris.
You might, huh? You'll think about it. You'll think about it. All right. Okay, very good. All right, not for sure. All right, so students, now Jareen said if I could speak French, which is perfectly good, but we could also say if I spoke French, right? All right, so students, do you want to move to Paris with me? Sorry, I can't. I don't speak French. Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry
Sorry about that. If I
would speak French,
I
would move to
move
Paris
Paris
with you.
I would move to Paris with you. If I spoke French, I would move to Paris with you. All right. Let's see. What other students do we have here? Let's see. Have I asked everybody? Let's see. Who haven't I asked? Let me see here. Who do we have? Maria Polito.
Yes, teacher.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Sure, why not? All right, Maria Polito, would you like to watch a baseball game with me?
Sorry, I can. I have to help my parents.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry about that. If I had to help my parents,
But we want to change it. We want to change it to negative. If I didn't have to, right? If I didn't have to
help my parents, I could watch a baseball game with you.
Right. If I didn't have to help my parents, I would watch the baseball game with you. Right. Sorry about that. Right. It's impossible for me to watch the baseball game because I have a commitment. All right. So students, would you like to watch a baseball game with me? Sorry, I can't.
Sorry, I can't.
I have to help my
have to
parents.
help my parents.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry,
Sorry
about
about that.
about that.
if
If
I
I didn't have to help my
Didn't have to
parents,
help my
my
parents,
parents,
I could
I
watch a
would watch a
baseball
baseball
with
game
you.
watch
with
a
you.
baseball with you.
I would watch the game with you. Very good. All right, let's see. How about, let's try Alejandra again. Alejandra,
Okay.
do you want to vote in the election?
No, I can't. I'm not a citizen.
Oh, that's too bad.
So,
Sorry about that. If I weren't a citizen,
If I
I
were,
could
right?
vote. I were a citizen, I could vote in the election
Right. If I were a citizen, I could vote
with
in
you.
the election. Mhm. Oh, thank you. All right. All right. So class, do you want to vote in the election? Sorry,
No,
I can't.
I can. I'm not a
I'm not a
citizen.
citizen. That's too bad. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
but
If
If I
I
were
were a
a
citizen,
citizen,
not a citizen,
I
I
could
would
vote
vote
would
in the
in
election.
the
vote in the
election.
election with
I
you.
would vote in the election, right? If I were a citizen, I would vote in the election. All right. Let's see. How about Araceli one more time? Araceli, do you want to visit Melanie with me?
Sorry, I can't. I don't know her address.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry about that. If I will remember, no.
You don't know the address, so you say if I
remember her address,
or if I knew the address. Mhm.
oh, yeah, I knew the address, I will visit Melanie
Right. If I knew the address, I would visit Melanie with you.
with you.
All right. All right. So students, let's practice. Do you want to visit Melanie today?
Sorry,
Sorry, I
Sorry,
can't.
I can't.
I don't know the address.
know her address.
Oh, that's too bad. Sorry about
Sorry.
that.
Sorry about that. If
If
I
I
knew
knew
her
her address, I
I
would
could
visit
visit
Melanie
Melanie with
with
you.
you. Good. All right, Jenny,
Yes.
you ready for the last one?
Yes.
Number 10. Would you like to play video games, Jenny?
Sorry, I can. I don't have. I didn't have time.
I don't have time. Mhm.
I don't have time.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry about that. If I didn't,
Had time.
if I have time, I play video game.
If I had time, I would play video games with you, right? If I had time, I would play video games with you. I don't have time, in fact. So sorry about that. I can't do it today. I want to, but I can't. I want to, but I can't. If I had time, I would play video games with you, right? If I had time, I would play video games with you. I want to, but I can't. I want to, but I can't. All right. So, students, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's do this last one. Do you want to play video games with me?
Sorry.
Sorry, I can't.
I
I don't have time. Well, that's too bad.
sorry about
that. If I
if I
had time,
time.
I would play
I will play
video
games
games with you. Very good. Very good. All right, good. Okay, a little tricky, huh? The tricky part is it's not real, right? You're imagining something that's not true. You're imagining what you would do if you had time, what you would do if you didn't have a doctor's appointment, what you would do if you could swim, what you would do if you knew Melanie's address. right? I would do this. I would do that if this were true, but it's not. It's just my imagination. It's just my imagination. All right, no problem? So.
A little confused.
A little problem. I'll send you some more practice to do over the weekend, okay? And yeah, next week we're going to practice conditionals as well. So we're going to spend 2 weeks on this. So, but I'll send you some practice over the weekend. All right? Good? No problem?
Okay.
No problem.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about your second thing you're going to do over this weekend, or this. You're going to have 1 week to do this, so don't worry about it. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to do a writing assignment for me. And today we're going to talk about how to write a good paragraph that has a comparison and a contrast. Comparison means when you say things are similar. A contrast is when you say things are different. So I want to look at that kind of a paragraph today. So I'm going to put the microphones on mute for a second, just so we can have nice and quiet while I do my explanation. And then I'm going to show you my presentation about writing this kind of a paragraph, a comparison and a contrast paragraph, okay? All right, so let's take a look at it here. Let me find the proper, here we go. Let's see, is that the right one? No, let's see. All right, here we go. All right. Okay, can everybody see the first slide? Compare, contrast essay. Give me a thumbs up if you can see. Everybody can see? Good, no problem. Okay, excellent. All right, so this is the first kind of essay we're gonna write. Yeah, now in level 3, we learned about writing a descriptive essay, where you just describe one thing, right? Which is good. But now, sometimes we want to talk about 2 different things at the same time and compare them. How are they the same? How are they different? And when we do that, it's called a compare-contrast essay. All right, similarities and differences, right? When we want to look at similarities and differences between 2 things, we often use a compare-contrast essay. Let me change that right now. I forgot one word. Okay. There we go. When we want to look at similarities and differences between 2 things, we often use a compare-contrast essay, right? So for example, apples and oranges. How do you compare them? Well, they're both fruits, but one has a very hard skin, one has a very light skin. You eat this skin, you don't eat that skin, etc., right? They're similar, but they're not the same. 2 methods. When we compare and contrast, we have 2 possibilities. We can use the point-by-point method. This one is the most popular, and this is the one we're going to look at today, where we discuss both things at the same time, right? So I'm going to talk about all about apples. Excuse me. I'm going to talk about apples, oranges, apples, oranges, apples, oranges. Or the block method, where you talk all about apples, and then you talk all about oranges, right? Apple, 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 orange, 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 orange. But that's not the best way to do it. That's okay, but it doesn't show the differences and similarities as well. So we're going to look at the point-by-point method today, which is my favorite, where we talk about both things at the same time, point by point by point. So let's look at it. Let's get started. What's my first step when I want to write an essay? I've got to figure out what I'm going to say. I got to think about it. This is called brainstorming, right? When I write down all the similarities and differences between the 2 things we can think of, right? Doesn't matter if it's a good one or a bad one, I write down everything I can think of, right? That's my first step. So I got a big pile of things on my desk where I have many, many notes. All right. Now I have to think about it. I can say, let's focus my topic. I'm not going to write everything I know. I'm going to limit my paper. Once we have all the similarities and differences on paper, we choose the most interesting. A good rule is to choose 3 of each. So I'm going to choose 3 similarities and 3 differences. 3 similarities and 3 differences. And for my example today, I'm going to compare New York and Los Angeles. New York and Los Angeles. So there's a picture of New York. Here's a picture of Los Angeles. We're going to compare those 2. All right. So I'm going to start with my introduction. What do I do in my introduction? We should introduce both elements and say that we are going to compare them. Right? And here's my example of my introduction. Introduction is usually pretty short, 2, maybe 3 sentences. Right? Of all the cities in the United States, there are none more fascinating than New York City and Los Angeles. In many ways, these 2 great cities are very similar, but in other ways, they are as different as night and day. Okay. There's a very good introduction because I mentioned both of the things, and I said that in some ways they're the same, in some ways they're different. Okay, that's my introduction paragraph, and I'm done with it. Finished. Okay, now paragraph number 2. Paragraph number 2. What am I going to write? I'm going to start with my similarities. Let's move on and talk about the similarities. Let's include a topic sentence and examples as needed. All right, and here's my paragraph about the similarities between New York and Los Angeles. Notice in red is what we call the topic sentence. The topic sentence simply tells what the paragraph is going to be about. So I say, even though locals might deny it, there are several ways New York and Los Angeles are very similar. For example, both cities are entertainment capitals. New York is famous for the theater and Los Angeles for the movies, but they both are meccas for fans. So that's reason number 1. In addition, New York has wonderful restaurants, and Los Angeles does too. You can get any kind of food in both cities, and there are plenty of opportunities to catch a delicious meal no matter what city you live in. Finally, both New York and Los Angeles are very diverse, with people from all over the world living in different neighborhoods throughout each city. All right, I'm going to turn on the microphones here for a second. We're going to talk about this first paragraph. All right. All right. Microphones are all on now. Okay. Now, how many similarities did I mention?
3.
3 similarities, right? What were the 3 similarities? Number 1.
Both are cities.
Number 1, the both cities are entertainment.
Are entertainment capitals.
Entertainment capitals. All right. Number 2.
It's for theater and movies.
No, that wasn't the second one.
No, that's an
They had a
wonderful
wonderful restaurant.
Wonderful restaurants. And number 3.
For
They are
diversity.
Diversity, right? Those were my 3 similarities, right? Lots of entertainment, good restaurants, and diversity, right? Those were my 3 similarities. And notice, do you see in green here? I have my transition words. For example, in addition, finally, right? So I have my topic sentence, and then I have 1, 2, 3. Now, if I were writing a longer paragraph, I would have more examples. I would have more examples and more details. This is kind of a shorter paragraph, so I didn't put too many examples and details, but I put a few, right? So, topic sentence, similarity 1, similarity 2, similarity 3. Okay? So now I'm done with my second paragraph. Okay? Now, I'm going to put the microphones back off, and we're going to look at the next paragraph. Let's look at that next paragraph now. So this is the I'm going to send everybody this presentation as soon as the class is over. So let's see. Differences. All right. Differences. It says now it's time to contrast. Again, let's include a topic sentence, transitions, and examples. Topic sentence, transitions, and examples. So what do we want? Let's look at this. However, there are very obvious differences between these two metropolises. The most obvious example is transportation. In New York City, most people take the subway to and from work, whereas in Los Angeles, we tend to commute by cars using our massive freeway system. Also, New Yorkers and Los Angelinos tend to have different personalities. People in New York can be seen by outsiders as aggressive and even rude because of their manner. On the other hand, people in Los Angeles are more relaxed and laid back. Finally, a big difference is the weather. While New York has 4 seasons, including a cold winter, in Los Angeles, the weather is mild year-round. No wonder we are in a better mood. All right, good. So let me turn my microphones back on for a second. Let's talk about this one. Okay, and otra vez, how many differences did I mention? How many differences? 3 differences, right? 3 similarities, 3 differences, right? And what were the 3 differences? Difference number 1?
Transportation.
Transportation, right? Number 2?
Different personalities.
Different personalities. And number 3?
See,
It's a big difference.
Weather, different weather.
Different weather, right? So my 3 similarities were entertainment, restaurants, and what was the third one? I don't remember now. Entertainment, restaurants, and trying to think of my similarities.
Diversity.
Diversity, right? That's right. Right? Entertainment, restaurants, diversity. Those were my similarities. My differences were transportation, personalities, and weather.
The weather.
So 3 of each. So you have a nice balance in your paragraph. And notice I have a topic sentence in red, and I have all my transition words. The most obvious example, whereas, also, on the other hand, finally, while, right? A lot of transition words to compare. So comparison, contrast. Comparison, contrast. Okay? All right. No problems?
Can you repeat the last word did you say, because you were first a little thing.
The last thing I said that I have my topic sentence, my transition words, and 3 differences, right? And again, so I have all 3 of these elements: topic sentence, transitions, examples.
Okay, thank you.
Now, if you were writing a more academic paper, you would probably want to do some research, but in this case, we're just doing a less academic paper, so examples are fine. Okay. Am I done with my paper? Not yet. I need to write 1 more paragraph. And that last paragraph is my conclusion. The last paragraph is my conclusion. So what am I going to write in my conclusion? It's time to finish the essay. We're going to mention both elements again, and we're going to come to some kind of conclusion about what they're written. And usually the conclusion is there are similarities, there are differences, but they're both good, right? So here's my conclusion. Even though the two cities are very different and have had a friendly rivalry for years, the fact is that both New York and Los Angeles are vital parts of the United States and, in fact, the world. There is a good reason why these two cities are on most international tourist lists of must-see destinations. They both have so much to offer, it would be foolish not to visit both in your lifetime. And my story is over. Okay? So how many paragraphs did I have? 4.
3.
4.
4 paragraphs. My first paragraph,
His introduction
introduction. Second paragraph,
Body
is
paper.
the similarities
similarities. Third paragraph,
is
Conclusion.
contracts.
differences, right? Contrasts. And
Mhm.
finally,
Is the conclusion.
conclusion. There you go. All right. So here are some words that can help you, right? When you are comparing in that second paragraph, you can say like or same, both, or the same way, or in the same way. Most important, similarly to, as well as, right? I'm going to send everybody this page so you don't have to copy it down.
Okay.
When you're making a contrast, what are you going to use? Words like although, however, differ, unlike, even though, yet, but. Remember yet and but? We talked about our conjunctions. Instead, on the other hand, whereas, while, right? All of these are good, but for comparison over here, for contrast over here, right? Comparison and contrast. So those words will help you. Those words will help you. And you'll notice you saw some of those words in my story. In my story. Okay, so here's our outline of our paper. We're going to write our paper. We're going to make an outline. What are we going to do? All right, think of it this way. First, my introduction. Right, what do I do in my introduction? I mention the two things, and I say that there are similarities and there are differences. Right, that's all I have to do in my introduction. I mention the two things I'm going to compare, and I'm going to say they are similar and they are different. Then my second paragraph, I'm going to write similarities. Similarities. Okay? And my third paragraph, differences. Right? And how many similarities? 3. How many differences? 3.
3. Mhm.
And finally, my conclusion. And then I'm finished with my essay. I'm finished with my essay. Introduction, similarities, conclusion, differences, and conclusion. Sounds good?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Can we do it? I think so. I can do it. Ooh. Peligroso, that guy. All right. All right. So that is what we're going to try to do over the weekend. We're going to try to write this kind of a paragraph. All right. I'm going to make a little packet of this. So I'm going to send you this as soon as the class is over so you can look at it carefully. But let's try to, oops. Yes. Let's try to write our own little paragraph, a very simple paragraph today while we're at it, okay? So we're going to work together to write one, and then I'll talk about what I want you to write over the weekend. Okay. No problems? All right. I got too many papers here. All right. Let me open up document. All right. And then let me see, new share. Okay. All right, do you see a blank piece of paper in front of you?
No.
No.
You don't see anything?
No.
Yes.
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 No. Yeah.
What do you see? Do you see a
A
piece of
white,
No.
a white paper?
white paper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So let's save, and we're gonna work together on this. Okay. So let's take something very simple. Let's take something very simple and see if we can write an essay. Let's take cats and dogs. All right. So let's first see if we can think of 3 similarities and 3 differences. Let's make an outline here. Okay, so our first one is going to be, part 1 is going to be our introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Introduction. We'll work on that later, right? Never write your introduction first. Always figure out what you're going to say first. All right, part 2, what's going to be my second paragraph? Similarities, right? Okay. All right. Let's see if we can think of 3 similarities between cats and dogs. How are they similar?
They came, had a pet.
They're
They
good
are
pets? Mhm.
Yes.
Good pets, all right. How else are they similar?
Mm-hmm.
Similar.
Run. They can run.
Run.
They are friendly.
They
Maybe they are affectionate, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and what's another way that they are similar?
they eat a lot.
Oh, they eat a lot. Okay,
They eat different food.
and need to be fed every day, right? Okay, that's good. All right. All right, let's see here. Okay. So those are our similarities. Gotta see how I can do this. Okay, now what about our differences? Let's see if we can think of 3 differences. Oops.
Let's,
What are 3 differences between cats and dogs?
but different.
The dog.
The dog is a big, and the cat is a small.
All right, dogs are different sizes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Cat different size too.
Right? You can have a big dog or a little dog, but most cats are about the same size, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some cats has a the cat has a tail and some dogs don't have.
Oh, okay, cats all have tails. Some dogs don't. And which do you think are more obedient?
No, the dogs.
Dogs.
The
Dogs
the cats.
more obedient. And cats are more independent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, of course, the last thing we're going to do is the conclusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we worked hard and we made a good outline, right? We got 3 similarities. We got 3 differences. And we're going to start with our introduction and our conclusion. Okay? So far, so good. All right. All right. So let's see if we can write this essay. All right. Let me see here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start with my title. I'm going to put my title at the beginning of the story, Cats and Dogs. Okay. All right, what's the first thing I need to do? I need to write an introduction.
Introduction.
I need to write an introduction. So maybe I say, many people love to keep pets in their house. They are good companions and are fun to play with. Two of the most popular pets are cats and dogs. However, before you choose what pet you want, you must consider the similarities and differences between these two animals. Okay? So what did I say? I'm writing about cats and dogs, and I'm writing about the similarities and differences. Okay? So that's a good introduction. Many people love to keep pets in their house. They are good companions and fun to play with. Two of the most popular pets are cats and dogs. However, before you choose what pet you want, you must consider the similarities and differences between these two animals. Good introduction. All right. What's the next step? Good pets, affectionate, eat a lot. Okay. Okay. So in many ways, cats and dogs are similar. For example, and we said that they make good pets. So they both make good house pets for people living in the city. Cats and dogs can both be kept indoors and out, and can both have a good life with an owner. Okay. I forgot my transition word, so I'm going to put one transition word in here. First, they both make good house pets for people living in the city. Cats and dogs can both be kept indoors and out, and can both have a good life with an owner. Okay, so that was the first one. Second, they both can be very affectionate to humans. Unlike having fish, cats and dogs give love to their owners. Anyone who has enjoyed seeing a dog get excited when they come home, or enjoyed a quiet evening cuddled cuddled up with a purring kitten knows this very well. Okay. All right. So again, I have first, second. Okay. And what's my final one? They eat a lot and need to be fed every day. Finally, both pets require regular care and food. They need to be fed, let outside for exercise, and taken care of by their owners. For this reason, getting a cat or a dog is a big responsibility. Okay, all right, good. All right, so there we go. We're doing great. We're doing great. All right. So I'm done with my second paragraph. I have my 3 similarities. I have my topic sentence. I have my transition words. I have my examples. And I have my details. All right. Now, I probably want my third paragraph to be more or less the same as the second. I want to have my 3 points. I want to have my topic sentence, and I want to have my details. So let's move on to the next paragraph. Okay. So what are we talking about? Differences. So again, a good transition word to go to the differences is however. However, there are important differences between cats and dogs that people must think about. All right. Again, this is my topic sentence, so I'm going to put that in green. Okay, there's my topic sentence. Okay. And now I'm going to use my transition word. Okay, for example. And what was my first difference? What did I say? Different sizes. Okay, for example, dogs come in many different sizes. House cats, on the other hand, are all more or less the same size. So if you live in a small apartment, it might be better to get a cat. Okay? All right. What's the next difference we talked about? Tails and not tails. Okay? All right. What can we say? Maybe we could think of a better difference than that tails. Maybe about exercise and walking, right?
Not bark.
Yeah.
Cat.
What about the different colors?
There are different colors, but they both come in different colors, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Cats have different colors, dogs have different colors.
Similar.
All right, so let's say let's talk about another important difference
About dog bark and cat not bark.
is how much exercise they need. If you own a dog, you will need to take it for a walk regularly so it can exercise and use the bathroom. Right? Got to take the dog outside, right? However, if you have a cat, you can simply let it run and play in the yard by itself. And many cat owners keep their cats inside all the time. Okay, so again, here's our transition words. However, put that in green. Here's another one, another important difference. Okay, all right, so now I have one more to write. What's the last one? The last one is, what did I say?
The dog.
Obedient.
The discipline.
Okay, discipline, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, pet owners must think about how much they want to train their animal. If you want an animal who will listen to you, a dog is the better choice. Dogs tend to be very obedient and want to please their owners. On the other hand, a cat, I'm going to send this to everybody so you don't have to copy it down. A cat is very independent and seldom pays attention to its owner. That's true for my cat. My cat doesn't pay attention at all. All right. All right, so there we have my similarities, my differences, and am I finished? Almost, right? What's my last thing I need to do? I need to
Conclusion.
write my conclusion, right? Let's see. So you could say, for example, owning a pet is a big responsibility. If I can spell responsibility around, responsibility. There we go. Therefore, it is important to think very carefully about the differences between these two pets before you make a decision. However, whether you choose a cat or a dog, having a pet is a wonderful way to share your life with another one of God's creatures. All right, the end. Okay, I'm done. I wrote my little comparison and contrast paragraph. All right, I'm going to save this right now and I'm going to send it to you. So you can look at my example. So that didn't take too long, right? Not too bad. Let's see, save that. Okay, so I'm going to send that out to you in just a second. Okay, so you're going to get both the summary and the example. You'll get the summary and the example. I'll send those both out to you when you can. All right, now, so, and I'm also going to send you some possible topics that I want you to write about, okay? Now, I'm going to give you some flexibility and some choice about what you want to write about, but it's going to be a comparison and contrast. So you have to write about two things, right? But I'm going to give you a list of topics you can write about, and some of them, like I said, will be about the videos you watched. So if some of you have watched the videos, some of you haven't. So I'm not going to make everybody write about the videos because I know some of you haven't watched it. Okay, so I'm gonna send you three things. You're going to get three things. You're going to get, number one, the presentation about making the paragraph. Number two, you're going to see that example about cats and dogs that I just sent you. And number three, I'm going to give you a list of possible things to compare for your essay, okay? So you're going to write an essay más o menos as long as I wrote it today, more or less that long, okay? So it's going to be roughly 1 page. You can write it with a pencil and take a picture of it, or you can write it on a computer and send it to me by email, or you can upload it into the Schoology app. There are many different ways you can do this, but first let's write it, and then we'll worry about getting it to me. So I'm going to send you those things. I'm going to send you a bunch of possible topics, and then I'm going to send you what am I going to send you? I'm going to send you the examples and the explanation of how to do it, okay? So this will be due 1 week from today. So by next Thursday, I hope to see a first draft of this paragraph, okay? And then I'm going to make some comments, and then I'll give you 1 weekend to give me a final draft, okay? So your first draft by next Thursday, and then final draft by the following Monday, okay? No problems?
Yeah.
No, okay. All right, any questions about that? So I think we went through it step by step by step, right? Introduction, 3 similarities, 3 differences, conclusion, right? No problems?
Oh.
Okay, so look for those things. You'll get them before noon today, right? I'm gonna write. You'll get them in just a few minutes in your Remind app. And so look for those 3 documents: the explanation, the example, and the list of topics. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Preguntas, problemas. Everybody happy?
Thank you.
Yeah, more or less. More or less.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So you can work on that over the weekend, and then I'll be looking forward to seeing it next week. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
teacher.
Very good.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you, Mr.
All
Webb.
right. Gracias a
you.
todos. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week, okay? And we'll talk more about conditionals
Thank
next
you.
week, too.
Okay.
All
Mr.
right.
Webb,
Yes.
Thank
Have a
you.
good weekend,
so on
everybody.
security, only one test, right?
Just that one test, yes.
Only one. Okay, because I saw you send
Oh,
two.
there's two in there?
Yeah, I did it already, but I just confused.
Okay.
How many?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, there is that test in Schoology. We didn't talk about that much today, right? Did you see the test in Schoology about auxiliary verbs?
I did.
Yes.
Yeah, you did it already? Okay,
Yes.
great. Yeah, if you haven't done it yet, you go ahead and do that too. So that's another thing you can do this weekend if you haven't done it already. Okay, no problems?
Okay. No problem.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Webb.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank you,
we'll
Mr.
see you
Webb.
next
Have a
week,
nice
okay?
weekend.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.